Welcome to the Manhattan Athletic Club Yoga channel. I'm Phil. I'm an instructor at Manhattan Athletic Club in Midtown here in the city. And today I'm going to lead you through a guided meditation. So I would recommend, if you have anything you could sit comfortably with, whether it be a block or on a cushion or a bolster or a folded blanket. And we'll start the practice seated. And I'll just kind of give a quick overview of what the flight plan will be. So the practice that we'll do today will incorporate numerous things. It'll incorporate some pre-meditative asana, where we just move through some gentle yoga movements, asana, just to start to warm the body and start to help open up the energetic centers in the body. And we'll come to sit and we'll do some pranayama, some breath work, where we alternate the flow of the breath from one side of the nostril to the next, which helps to bring the body into kind of a more focused, balanced state, which makes it easier to sit in meditation. And then once we do the pranayama, I'll lead you through a guided meditation using visualizations on the breath. In yoga, we call it Kriya Yoga, where we're using these visualizations just to bring the focus into a certain part. For this meditation, it'll be the central channel from the crown of the head to the base of the spine. And we'll use a visualization that draws energy up and down that central channel. And then once we've done that, I'll leave you to sit in silence for a little bit of time, anywhere between 8 and 10 minutes. And if you feel like you can't sit still or you can't quiet the mind, don't worry about it. Meditation is not completely quieting the mind. It's about using the focus just to be aware of what's around you. Let the mind quiet for as long as you can, and if a thought arises, acknowledge that thought, let the thought move on, and then just work towards stillness, work towards nothing, no thing. But don't get caught up, don't be frustrated if the mind does start to wander, because that's how we're wired. And if sitting is difficult for you with crossed legs, then you could come onto your back, you could sit in a chair, you can sit against the wall. I like to use blocks to prop under the knees. But once we come into the seated position, I'll just kind of give you a reminder about that. And at the end of the practice, I'll bring you back. We'll do some grounding, which is we're taking the energy back down that central channel from the crown all the way down to the base of the spine. And then we'll come onto our backs for a brief Savasana. And then we'll work our way out of it, and we'll end the practice there. So we'll start, as I mentioned, doing some asana. So come onto your mat. If you don't have a mat, you can use a towel. If you have carpet, great. We're not going to do anything too challenging. I do like to pad the knees, so if you have a blanket or a towel for under the knees, great. And just make your way into tabletop. So we're just bringing those shoulders over those wrists, and you want the knees to be about hips distance, and just lightly press the tops of the feet onto the mat. Make sure your wrist crease is in line with the front edge of the mat, and then just spread the fingers a little wider here. Now, before we start to move on the breath, just imagine the crown of the head could just move away from the shoulders ever so slightly, and the sitting bones can start to move towards the wall behind you. Now, on the inhale, tuck the toes, lift the gaze, arch the spine gently for cow pose. And as we exhale, untuck the toes, press the palms into the mat, draw the navel up and in, round the thoracic spine, gently tuck the chin to the chest for cat. On the inhale, tuck the toes, lift the gaze, arch the spine, come through cow. Just working to open through the front body. And as you exhale, untuck the toes, press the palms softly, draw the navel up and in, round the thoracic spine for cat. Just keep moving like this at your own pace. So the inhale is drawing you forward as the spine arches and the front body opens. And as we exhale, we're just rounding, really moving through the thoracic spine, drawing the navel up and in, opening up the back body. And then just see if the eyes can start to close. And then just envision the body moving to the rhythm of each breath here. So we're just allowing that inhale to draw you forward, arching the spine, dropping the belly, shining those collarbones for cow. As we exhale, we're just rounding through the middle back. Really see if you can overemphasize that rounding. Just play with a few more rounds at your own pace here. So just try not to move at any tempo that you think the body wants to move at. Listen to the body and just move with the tempo of the breath. Now we're going to change it up slightly, so allow the next inhale to draw you forward. Tuck the toes, lift the gaze. Now as you exhale, untuck the toes, press the seat to the heels, come into a child's pose. The belly's going to rest on the thighs here. Take a moment here to let the front body soften under the thighs. Bring the forehead onto the mat. Now on the next inhale, come to stand up on the shins. Bring the torso upright. Take the arms to frame the ears for Bali pose. And then as you exhale, lower with control, seat to heels. Those palms extended softly land on the mat, coming right back through that child's pose. On the inhale, press through the palms, tuck the toes, come back through all fours. Find a cow, arch the spine, lift the gaze. As you exhale, untuck the toes, press the seat to the heels, just ride the breath back into your child's pose. On the inhale, come to stand up on the shins, torso comes upright, arms frame the ears, fingertips reaching towards the sky, Bali pose. As you exhale, lower with control, just resisting gravity, utilizing the entire exhale. Now on the inhale, we're going to pass through all fours, we're going to lift gaze, we're going to arch the spine for cow. As we exhale, send the seat to the heels. So it's 4 distinct movements, 2 of which happen to be child's pose. Keep moving like this. Inhale, come to stand, reach those arms. And as we exhale, lowering down with control. Press the palms, inhale, ride the breath through all fours, lift the gaze, arch the spine, cow. As we exhale, seat to heels. One more full round like this on the breath. Inhale, come to stand up on the shins. Take the arms to frame the ears. And as we exhale, lowering with control. Take one more inhale to pass through cow, toes tuck, gaze lifts, arch the spine. As we exhale, press the seat back to the heels, child's pose. Just settle in here. Just see if by matching the breath with the movement, we've started to slow the tempo of the breath, starting to slow the tempo of the body. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, pass through all fours, and we're going to make our way into some variety of an inversion. So we can come into downward facing dog, walk the palms about a palm's distance, tuck the toes, press the seat up towards the ceiling for down dog. Now, if down dog is not your favorite pose, or if you have issues with the wrists or the arms, we can come onto forearms, make a V between the fingertips and the elbows. Let the elbows be under the shoulders. Tuck the toes, lift the hip structure over the heart center, then release the neck. Whichever expression of this inversion we're in, 6 rounds of breath. We're just working to shift the flow of the energy by turning the body upside down. And whenever you've completed that next exhale, lower down onto the knees, come to sit back onto the heels, bring the palms to the thighs, sit upright, with the eyes closed. And just tune in here, just see if you may experience a shift. So we took the body from right side up to upside down to right side up here. And then softly open the eyes, let the gaze land on a single point on the mat in front of you. And then just come to find that comfortable seated position here. So I like to prop a block or a blanket underneath the sitting bones. And sitting with a nice tall spine, just let those right fingertips start to wander away from that right thigh. On the inhale, take the left arm up and over. Just start to find a soft lateral stretch over to the right here. We're just opening up the energetic pathways through the left side of the body here. Keep space between that right ear and that right shoulder. Just close the eyes and just start to envision that central channel that runs from the crown of the head all the way to the base of the spine. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, just pass through center. Lower those left fingertips onto the mat. Now ground down through those left fingertips. Inhale, take the right arm up and over. Take that lateral stretch over to the left. Just working to open up through the right side, the energetic side of the right body. Keep space between that right shoulder and that right ear. Use the inhale, pass back through center, lower the fingertips onto the ground. As you inhale, take the arms overhead. As you exhale, take a gentle twist to the right. Bring the left palm to the right knee. Those right fingertips can come right behind that right sitting bone. As you inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, just take a gentle twist here. Now hold the twist and just take the head back through center. Just try not to lead the twist with the head here. And then let that gaze start to float over towards that right shoulder again. Inhale, release the twist, come back through center. As you exhale, take the twist to the left this time. Bring the right palm to the left knee. Those left fingertips are behind that left sitting bone. Sitting tall, inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, gently twist to the left. Hold the twist and then just take the head back through center. And then just take that gaze back across the left shoulder. Take an inhale here, come back through center, float those arms. And then exhale, just lower the arms alongside you here. Extend the legs long onto the mat. If you had padding, just scoot it off to the side here. As we just start to release the backs of the legs, walk those fingertips behind the back body. Just sit up nice and tall in Dandasana, staff pose. Close the eyes here. And then using the mind's eye, just start to establish that central line that runs from the crown of the head down that central channel. You can even just envision it being the spinal column, all the way to the base, tip of the tailbone, between the pubic bone and the tailbone. And then we're going to make our way into the seat where we're going to be able to sit for meditation. So just as I mentioned earlier, you can sit in a chair, you can sit up on a prop if you have a bolster or a cushion. You can sit against the wall. Support the knees of the thighs. Just once again, if at any point while you're seated, if the legs get tired, stretch the legs out, bounce the legs. If you want to come onto your back, by all means, come onto your back. Just listen to the body. Just take a moment to arrive into this seated posture. Just feel the sitting bones connecting to whatever's supporting them. Allow the crown of the head to float towards your ceiling. Let the shoulders soften away from the ears. Relax the jaw, soften the tongue, relax the forehead. As you arrive into the seat, just float those palms off the knees. Bring the hands to heart center. Just bring the knuckles of the thumbs to connect to the sternum. And then release the back of that left hand onto that left knee. Join the thumb and the pointer finger of that left hand to touch. And we're going to work with our alternate nostril breathing. So with the right hand, we're going to use the thumb and the ring finger. So the pointer finger and the middle finger just rest on the inner palm. And we take that thumb right up to the right side nostril. Find that place where the bone meets the cartilage. And then the ring finger finds the opposite side where the bone meets the cartilage. Always an option to bring the pointer finger and the middle finger to rest on the forehead here. Whichever variation, just see where that right elbow is. Soften that right arm so we're not just holding that arm rigidly. And then using the thumb on the right side nostril, start to press into that area where the cartilage meets the bone. And then inhale, draw your breath in through the left side nostril. Take a full inhale. At the top of that inhale, gently close off the left nostril using that ring finger. Hold the breath, gently tuck the chin to the chest. And then when you're ready to exhale, let the breath flow with ease out of the right side. Release the right nostril. Now complete that whole exhale. And then let the inhale come in through the right side, that side it just left. Top of that inhale, gently close off that right nostril. Hold, block both. Gently tuck the chin to the chest. And when you're ready to exhale, release the ring finger off the left nostril. Let the breath just flow with ease out of the left side. Now work to complete that full exhale. Then the inhale is going to draw in through the left side nostril. Top of the breath, hold, block both. Gentle retention, just tuck the chin to the chest. And as you exhale, let the breath just flow out of the right side. Just alternating the flow of the breath. Keep moving the breath like that. The inhale is going to draw in through the right side. Top of the inhale, gently hold and block both. Chin to chest. Exhale to release out the left side. Inhale in through the left side. Hold, block both, gentle retention, chin to chest. Exhale out of the right side, just letting the breath flow with ease. Just take a couple more rounds on your own. Whenever you next have an exhale out the right side, just complete the round, don't rush. Just finish the exhale on the right side. And just lower the right hand back onto that right knee. You can join the thumb and the pointer finger of the right hand to touch. And just take a moment here just to check in. See if you feel any changes, any shifts from when you first arrived in this supported seated position, how you might be after the pranayama. And just let your awareness travel down all the way to the pelvic floor. Just envision a point between the pubic bone and the tailbone. And just start to envision a light appears at that point, and the inhale draws that light up that central channel. And at the top of the inhale, that light just resides in the midbrain. You can just use the mind's eye just behind that third eye point. And the exhale is going to draw that light right back down that central channel to that point from where it originated, just above the pelvic floor. The inhale is going to draw that light, that ball of energy, slowly up that central channel to the midbrain, right behind that third eye point. Just allow the exhale to let that light travel back down that central channel, all the way to that point between the pubic bone and the tailbone. Keep moving the breath like that, drawing that energy up that central channel. Just allow the exhale to draw it down that same channel, just retracing that pathway of energy. If you happen to be pregnant or if you have any kind of issues with breathing, we can draw the light from the heart center with the inhale up to the midbrain. And then the exhale is going to take that light just down from the midbrain right to the heart center, just a point in the middle of the sternum. If you're okay with that light traveling from base to crown, just continue moving the light with each breath. And when you next happen to inhale, draw that light from whatever point of origin to the midbrain, and then just let it reside there. Just hold the awareness at that point in the middle of the forehead, just above the eyebrows. And just bring the right hand up towards the face. Bring the right pointer finger. Just tap that point in the middle of the forehead, just so gives you a sensory point where you can just hold your awareness. And then float the back of that right hand onto the knee. Join the thumb and pointer finger to touch. And just sit in stillness here. Just holding the awareness at that single point, right where that fingertip was pointing to. And just once again, if the mind starts to wander, if the mind starts to drift from thought to thought, just acknowledge those thoughts, but let the mind move on. Just try to bring it back with the awareness of that single point in the middle of the forehead. If at any point you feel restless, stretch, come onto your back, do a down dog, and just make your way back, holding the awareness at that point in the middle of the forehead. If the mind continues just to jump from thought to thought, you can use a silent mantra, a sound, Mum, M-A-M. Just sound it like a gong, let it reverberate through the midbrain. Just continue to hold on to this state that you've arrived at. Bring the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth and gently rub the thumb over each fingertip, just going from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And then just bring the palm to jointed heart center. Move the tongue to the top of that upper gum line, right where the gum line meets the teeth. And just start to rub the palms towards or against one another, just softly building up some heat. And just take the palms away from one another about an inch, maybe two, and just see if you can still feel that sensation you've created here. And just play with moving the palms away from one another. You might just start to encounter a puffy-like quality, the magnetism. Bring the palms up over the eyes, gently cup the eyes, and let that energy, that radiance, just pour in through the eyelids, through the optic nerve, into the midbrain. You might even see a light. And join the palms at that third eye point. Rest the knuckles of the thumbs right on that third eye point. Then take the palms away from one another. Just slide the palms down the cheeks, under the jawline. Take the hands around the back of the neck. Just give yourself a gentle massage. Just rubbing that area from the base of the skull down to the tops of the shoulders here. And then just slide the palms around the throat. Left palm over that throat center. Right hand on top of that left palm. Just continue to let that heat, that energy pour and permeate into this space. And softly draw the palms down. Just come to rest over that, on the top of the sternum where that manubrium, that bump bone would be, the thymus gland. And draw the palms down the front body. Just rest right over at the heart center. And then just slide the palms down. Just rest over the navel here. We're just working to ground that energy that we moved with the meditation back down to the base, down to the root. Slide the palms over the solar plexus. And then take the pointer fingers to touch, point towards the earth. Bring the thumb tips to touch, and then just interlace the fingers. Fingertips are pointing towards the middle of the palms. Then release the hands. Bring the thumb right at the top point where the thighs meet the torso here. Just press softly and just wrap the other four fingers around the outer upper legs here, the hips. And then just take the heels of the hands, just start to knead from the hip point all the way down to the knees here. Just working to ground the energy back down the legs here. And then when you get to the knees, just make circles in the knees. Extend the legs a little farther away from you. And then just run the palms down the length of the lower legs. So you're just kind of like shining the calves, giving or the shins rather, giving the backs of the calves a little bit of a massage. And then just bring the hands to the ankles. Just hold the ankles tight, tight, tight here. And then take the thumbs and run a line from the heel all the way down to the tip of that big toe. And then walk that line from the heel to the second toe. Walk that line heel to third toe. Same with the fourth toe. Same with the fifth toe. Just extend the legs long. Find a gentle bounce of the knees just to release the backs of the legs here. And just come onto your back for Savasana. So if you had padding, a cushion, or a blanket, you can use it as a pillow at the top of the mat. And just let the back body arrive here. Take the heels slightly wider than the hips. Let the toes fan out. Let the hip structure start to support the weight of the legs. Let the upper torso, the back body, support the weight of the upper body. Let the arms just relax out to the side. Turn the palms to face up. And then just let the back round of the skull be supported by the mat, your carpet, or that padding. And start to deepen your breath. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Gently rock the head side to side on the back round of the skull. And rock the head back through center. Bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet onto the mat. Walk the feet mat width so the pinky toe side of the feet lines up with the outer edge of the mat. Just knock the knees together in the center. Just take a couple windshield wipers from side to side. Just releasing through those hips. From seated, from just staying in that seated position for a period of time. And then just bring the knees back through center. Walk the feet in so they're hips distance. Then walk the heels a little closer into your body so you can just tap the heel with the pointer fingers. On the inhale, lift the hips off the mat. Come into a bridge pose. You can stay here, option to clasp the hands at the low back. Just mind the back of the head. If you're on a cushion or a blanket, you don't want it to be too high. The chin should be drawing away from the upper chest, not drawing towards it. And if we're using the variation with the hands clasped, really push the backs of the upper arms into the mat. Just allow the thoracic spine to move a little deeper into the thoracic cavity, opening the heart center. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, unclasp the hands, roll the shoulder blades away from one another, come up onto the balls of the feet, and then lower the hips down one vertebrae at a time. And when the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, connects to the earth, just lower your heels down. Gather the knees into the chest. Just take a gentle rock on the spine from side to side. And then rock to stillness. Slide the palms behind the thighs and just start to rock forwards and backwards. If this is not good for the back and for the sacrum, you can just roll to one side, come up through a fetal position, and just rock up to a seated position. Maybe grab that blanket that was a pillow. Sitting up nice and tall. Just take the hands back to the heart center. Reconnect the hands to the heart. And just take a moment to acknowledge your practice. And then take a moment to thank yourself to come to this seat to do your practice. And thank you very much for letting me guide you today. Namaste. And just before you collect your things, make a gentle fist with that right hand. Place it just below the navel. Rest that left hand over that gentle fist. Start to wrap the elbows to the side body. Sit up nice and tall. Just a way of regrounding the energy. Just tilt forward on those sitting bones. Keep the length in the spine. Keep the heart center wide open. And just rock back up so you're sitting tall. And just let the crown of the head be light. Let the heart center be wide open. Just getting you ready for the rest of your day, the rest of the evening, which I hope is a wonderful one. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I have a couple other classes in this Manhattan Athletic Club channel. And I'll probably be adding a couple more. So hopefully you'll join again. Take care. Namaste.